number 8 gave you this formula. Make sure you're on page 8, 6 through 12. You were told to use the perimeter formula for a rectangle. Okay. So in the problem, you're told that the perimeter is 54 and that your width is 12. But you need to find your length. Now, this was your homework, so make sure you're looking at your homework. And if you're not sure about this problem, you can see if you got it right or not, okay? So really, all you have to do is plug these numbers in. So in the place of P, I'm going to put a 54. I don't know what L is. That's my length. So I'm just going to leave the 2 times L the way it is. And then W is 12, so in the place of this W right here, I'm going to put a 12. So that's going to be 2 times 12, right? Okay, so all I've done right now is just plug the numbers in. Okay, what I need to do is to take this equation and solve it for L. Well, remember, if you have parentheses or anything like that, you need to take care of those before you solve an equation, right? So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. That's going to be 54 equals 2 times L plus 24. So all I did was just multiply those. Y'all good? And from here, you can just solve your equation just like you always do. By doing what? Right, we're going to subtract the 24. So 54 minus 24 leaves me with 30. Bring down the 2 times L. Right, and then you divide by 2, and that tells you that your length is what? 15. Okay? Tell me if you got it right. Got it right? Good deal. Okay? I can bring that up a little bit for you. See it a little bit better. Okay? Alright? So really, these are what I just call plug into problems. You just plug numbers in and then you have to simplify the equation before you can solve it. Okay? Alright? The next one is number 10. That is your area of a triangle. So this problem tells me the area is 16. My base is 4. They want me to figure out what my height is. So I'm going to plug 16 in the place of A. In the place of B, I'm going to put 4. And just bring the H down. Okay? Now before you try to solve it, and when I say solve, I mean before you start adding and subtracting stuff on each side or multiplying and dividing on each side, then what you need to do is to simplify anything before you start doing that. So here I need to take half times 4. What's half times 4? 2, because it means half of 4, right? You can come over here and work that out. You can say that's 1 over 2 times 4 over 1, isn't it? A little top times top, bottom times bottom, and you see that that works out to be 2. So you can either multiply it out or you can just say half of 4 is 2. So that becomes 2h, and I'm going to bring that 16 down. Okay? All right, and then we're going to solve it by doing what? Right, dividing both sides by 2. Okay? So that gives me that h is equal to 8. How many of you got that one right? Good deal. Okay. All right, any questions on that? Okay. The next one we're going to talk about is 12. This is your formula for converting between Fahrenheit and Celsius. And you actually had 2 problems with that one. This problem gives you C and wants you to find F. So it gives you the Celsius temperature and wants you to find Fahrenheit. The other problem on page 9 gave you Fahrenheit and wanted you to find Celsius. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to plug that negative 20 in the place of C. And notice that when we do that, the only variable that we have, okay, the only variable that we have is already by itself, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, f is already by itself. That variable is already all by itself. So we don't need to solve anything. We just need to figure out what this is. Just simplify everything. So you don't need a line down the middle or anything like that, because you're not going to be adding and subtracting stuff to each side or multiplying and dividing on each side. You only do that if the variable is not by itself. So since this variable is by itself, we're just going to keep bringing it down, and we're going to use our order of operations, a little PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, to simplify this. Okay, you can put that negative 20 over 1. Okay, come over here, do a little top times top, bottom times bottom, if you want to. Okay, so 9 times negative 20 gives me negative 180. And I'm going to divide that number by 5. I know it's going to be a negative something, right? I'm going to come down here and figure out what that is. 5 into 18 is what, 3? And then 5 into 30 is 6. So it looks like it gives us a negative 36, doesn't it? So that's what we put in the place of this part right here. We just figured out that 9/5 times negative 20 over 1 is the same thing as negative 36. So I get negative 36 plus 32. And then I'm going to finish that up, and I'm going to get that my Fahrenheit temperature is what? Negative. Add or subtract them? Subtract them. Okay? So negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? So if your variable is already by itself, all you have to do is simplify stuff. You're not going to be trying to subtract 32 to each side or anything like that. Okay? All right, next one. Here is this is page 9, so look at page 9, and this is number 9 on page 9. You still have that Fahrenheit formula, but I want you to notice this one's different because this time you've got 68 that you're going to put in the place of F, and you have to solve this with C. Now, answer this for me. Is your variable by itself? No. So, see, this one's different from this one over here. See, this one, the variable was by itself, so we didn't have to do the same thing to each side of the equal mark, okay? But here, the variable is not by itself, so that means we need to put our little line there, and what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side, okay? Actually, I think some of you like turning this around before you work it, don't you? You want to put the 9/5 C on this side, plus 32, and then put the equal 68 on the other side. If you want to do that, that's fine by me. If you don't have to. Okay? Alright, so to start this out, which number do I get rid of first, the 9/5 or the 32? 32. Right, 32. So I'm going to subtract this 32. That gives me 9/5 C is equal to 36. And how do we get rid of a fraction when it's being multiplied by a variable? What's that word? Reciprocal. Very good. What's the reciprocal of 9/5? 5/9. So we multiply on each side by 5 over 9. Right. Okay. A little top times top. So 36 times 5. Right, that's 180, isn't it? Right, and then divide that by 9. probably can do that one in your head without writing anything down. 9 goes into 18 how many times? 2, but we got that 0, so it's actually going to be 20 degrees Celsius, isn't it? Okay. All right, and I've picked one more. Okay, and then after that I'll let you pick. Number 6 on page 9. Okay, we have to figure out what C is. If we know that pi is 3.14 and that r is 3.2, so we have 2 times pi times 3.2. So I'm just going to come over here to the side and I'm going to multiply stuff out. I'm just going to multiply it out, 2 things at the time. So I'm going to multiply my 3.14 times 2 first. When you multiply, ignore the decimal. And then just multiply. And then when you're done multiplying, count back how many decimal places you have. So I have 2 decimal places, don't I? So now, here's the fun part. I get to take the 6.28, and now I have to multiply that by 3.2, don't I? So that's going to give me 16. That's going to be 4 plus 1 is 5. That's going to be 12. Now I'm going to multiply with the 3, but I've got to hold my place right there. So 3 times 8 is 24. Carrying that 2, that's 6, 7, 8. 3 times 6 is 18. Add going straight down. Do you see how I'm ignoring these decimal places for right now? Okay, what is that, 9? That's a 10, carry that 1. That's going to be another 10, carry that 1. That's a 2. So now that you've got it all multiplied out, now you can look at those decimal places. I've got 3 decimal places, don't I? So start right here and count back 1, 2, 3. So it's 20.096. Okay. Oh, she said, oh, that's easy. Did y'all hear? It is easy. 6. Okay. Alright, so all of that gives me that C is equal to 20.096, okay? See, I didn't have to divide by anything on each side because the variable was already by itself. When the variable is by itself, all you have to do is simplify everything that's after the equal mark, okay? Alright? Alright, is there anything on those 2 pages that I haven't worked out that you want me to work out? Anything on pages 8 and 9? Anybody? On pages 8 and 9, anything at all on pages 8 and 9? Anybody? Number 7. On page 8. Are you on page 8?
Page 9.
Page 9. And you said which one, number 7?
No.
Never mind. Okay, so that's a never mind. Anybody need to see anything worked out on that page? Pages 8 or 9? Right here. I'm sorry, what? Which page? 8 or 9? 9. Page 9, number 8. Okay, and that is distance equals rate times time. We are told that our distance is 110. We don't know the rate, but we do know that our time is 2. R times 2 is the same thing as 2 times R. divide by 2, and you're ready